Today, I'm going to discuss how to program yourself for wealth as a sensitive person. The good news about being sensitive is that we can expand our imagination to untold levels of wealth. Yes, the logical can do accounting and budgeting. Initially, they have that strength down pat a little bit better than we do as sensitive people. Having said that, that ability to organize and analyze bills and try to save money, if you're not too careful with it, it can actually create a contracting mindset. You might worry that you can't tip the waiter because you can't afford it and it doesn't fit in your schedule. You might worry that you're not going to be able to pay the bills or survive. And this kind of logical mindset is so prevalent in my country. I live in Canada. A lot of people are trying to follow the logic. They get their house and then they feel like they're house poor and they're struggling to pay their bills. And I've actually read on the Government of Canada websites recently that 2/3 of homeowners are struggling and worrying about using payday loans if they haven't used them already because they believe they're not abundant enough to afford their mortgage. It's a big problem in my country, and if I'm not careful about it as a sensitive person, I can absorb all of those beliefs from people around me. I can believe that I can't afford things, or I'm destined to live in a certain place at a certain income level because of the people around me. And I have to remember to program myself for wealth. And everybody has to remember this because your immediate surroundings in your country, in your community, people may have a really negative mindset that holds them back. And you don't want to adopt that mindset. You want to stay away from those conversations. It doesn't mean you have to cut the love or cut those people out completely if they are in your life and they are your family or your friends, but don't talk about money so much around them. Try to avoid those conversations or reassure them if they're scared positively. Like if somebody says, I'm scared of becoming homeless, just reassure them that they're not going to go homeless. Like you have multiple university degrees, you'll get another job, like you're a responsible person, you'll be okay, But these conversations have been happening recently, and I realized I actually really need to reprogram myself to make sure that I'm not falling into a fear mindset with money. So the number one thing you need to do is imagine yourself earning more. Start writing checks to yourself and post them in places where you can see them on a regular basis and make the amounts big, like make it tens of millions, and imagine yourself receiving the money. And I know that must sound very silly to somebody who's earning perhaps $30,000 a year. Maybe that doesn't seem realistic. Do it anyway. Just imagine yourself creating something that you get paid handsomely for. So the good news about creating money is that if you're willing to do your own thing and you're willing to try things that nobody's tried before, then your income and your success are practically limitless. You can really do whatever you like with opportunities that are available to you, not only within your country, but also within the world. We're all connected to the internet now. There are potential opportunities to connect with clients really who have any income level. You can target the rich, you can target the poor, but whoever you want to target, you just want to make sure you give them excellent service for whatever product that you create for them. You want to make sure that they're getting something that's really going to enrich and change their lives. That's what I do as a sensitive person. I try to reach other sensitive people to say, hey, there are opportunities for sensitive people. We can imagine success beyond measure. And there are a lot of sensitive people who have made it on the internet, or they make it in a great career where they grow and expand. It does happen. But we have to be open to these opportunities. We have to be in the right mindset and imagine that we're going to receive money. Next time you're out at a restaurant, if you receive really good service, tip them more than they expect. And I know that might seem like a stretch, like, oh, that's beyond my budget. Then save the money from other things that are not so important to you and put that money aside into your imagination fund. Or if you're really tight and you don't have a job, for example, go and volunteer in your community. Go volunteer with somebody who's more vulnerable than you are, like a homeless person. Or the Humane Society is fantastic. I volunteer at both. Help those who are more vulnerable than you, and then you'll realize, hey, like I can afford X, Y, and Z. I can do this, I can do that with my life. And it's really just a choice what I do with my money. For For example, some of my friends, I started introducing to them to vegetarianism recently. Vegetarianism is not always the most popular topic, but the thing about it is it saves people money and it improves your health. If you're willing to make a really committed deep change like that, you will see improvement in both your health and your finances. And you might be like, well, I don't know if that change works for me. We are all a little bit different in terms of our diet, but it's just one example. Like, think about what you're consuming on a regular basis, and can you let go of some of the foods you're eating that are not that good for you? Like, are you taking a sugary coffee out? Maybe you really need to convert that to a black coffee that you make at home with no sugar in it. Or maybe you're eating on a regular basis very greasy food, and you can cook the same food at home but without the grease in it. It's better for your health, it's better for your pocketbook, and it's going to really set you free in terms of your abundance mindset. There's so many little changes that anybody can make today. And then there are the more challenging ones, like increasing your income. But for some people, sometimes that's easier actually than making the little changes. Or you may need to move to a different city or a different area where rent or mortgage rates are more affordable. Maybe that's the solution for you. Or you're getting away from property taxes. These solutions are out there if you're willing to put in the time and the research, and that gets you on your way. A lot of ordinary people have become millionaires simply by being frugal, saving money, deciding they don't need certain things that are not giving them joy anymore. These things are worth investigating and thinking about. Look at your bills. Look at where can I improve? Where am I spending money that's not giving me joy? And if the thing you're spending money on gives you joy, it might be an expense worth keeping as long as you can afford it. But if something doesn't give you joy, like you spent a lot of money on a Costco order, which I did, which was silly recently, and then I just realized Costco was not really giving me that much joy anymore. So why spend my money there? We all have areas that we can cut, and then areas that we can be more generous with ourselves and build our dream lives. Things that are important and worth spending money on are things like education. It's things like mental and physical health and physical safety. These things are worth spending your paycheck on because these things protect your well-being. But if something's not protecting your well-being and it's just an expense, then maybe it's not worth keeping. But things that really enhance your life include things like being generous to your community and being kind to your neighbors. These things stick with you and make you feel good about yourself for a very long time. They make you feel much better than a new pair of shoes or a new jacket that you don't necessarily need right now.